Welcome to Story Planet, where we bring you relaxing tales to help you unwind. Tonight's story is Letters to the North Pole. Take a deep breath, settle in, and let the soft glow of Christmas magic guide you into a peaceful journey. Now, let's begin. In the sleepy town of Hollybrook, nestled in the snow-dusted hills, a little post office stood at the edge of the main square. It was a place of quiet charm, with its red brick walls, frosted windows, and a brass bell that jingled softly whenever someone entered. The post office was run by a young woman named Sarah, who had inherited the job from her father. Sarah loved the peaceful rhythm of her work. She sorted letters, greeted townsfolk, and occasionally hummed carols as the snow fell softly outside. Outside, the town square sparkled with holiday lights strung around the fountain, and the scent of pine and baked goods wafted through the air. But as Christmas drew closer, Sarah couldn't help but feel a pang of loneliness. Though she was surrounded by cheerful holiday decorations and bustling townsfolk, her life felt a little empty. Most of her days were spent alone, save for the occasional chatter of a customer or the comforting creak of the old wooden floorboards beneath her boots. In the evenings, she would sit by the fireplace in her modest cottage, staring out at the twinkling lights of other homes, wondering if she might ever find the same warmth for herself. One frosty afternoon, as Sarah was tidying up the mailroom, she stumbled upon an old, dusty wooden box tucked away on a high shelf. The box was labeled in faded handwriting, North Pole letters. Curious, she carried it to her desk and opened it. Inside, she found hundreds of letters, some yellowed with age, others written in a child's uneven scrawl. They were addressed to Santa Claus, and it seemed that they had never been sent. Sarah's heart ached as she sifted through the letters. There were wishes for toys, heartfelt messages, and even a few written by adults asking for things money couldn't buy: health, happiness, or the return of a loved one. Each letter felt like a window into someone's soul, a glimpse of their hopes and dreams. She couldn't bear the thought that these wishes had gone unanswered. That evening, as Sarah sat by her small fire with a cup of tea, she decided to do something extraordinary. She would answer the letters, one by one. Even if she couldn't grant their wishes, she could bring a bit of warmth and magic to the people who had written them. The crackling fire seemed to encourage her resolve, and as snow gently fell outside her window, she felt a spark of purpose she hadn't felt in years. The next morning, Sarah dusted off her old typewriter and began her project. The first letter she picked up was from a boy named Tommy. His letter, written many years ago, asked for a wooden train set. Sarah smiled and wrote back, imagining herself as Santa's helper. "Dear Tommy, thank you for your lovely letter. I hope you know that your wish for a train set has reached Santa himself. You must have been quite the good boy to ask for such a thoughtful gift. I hope your Christmases since then have been full of wonder and joy. Keep believing in magic. It's all around you. Yours truly, Santa's helper." Sarah slipped the letter into an envelope and addressed it to Tommy's old home. She wasn't sure if he still lived there, but it felt worth the try. As the days passed, Sarah found herself eagerly diving into the box of letters each morning. There was one from a little girl named Sophie, who wished for her father to come home safely from war. Another from an elderly woman, Martha, who had simply written, "I wish to not be alone this Christmas." Sarah's heart grew heavy as she read their words, but she also felt a spark of hope. She crafted her replies carefully, filling each one with kindness and encouragement. For Martha, she decided in her heart to spend Christmas with her, bringing some much-needed company to both of their lives. Then she wrote, "Dear Martha, thank you for sharing your wish. I hope you know that even on the quietest of Christmases, you are never truly alone. The love and memories of those we hold dear are with us always, like a warm light in the cold. I hope this Christmas brings you moments of peace and joy, and perhaps a surprise or two. Remember, you are loved more than you know. Yours truly, Santa's Helper." As Sarah continued her work, she uncovered more letters that revealed the heart of the town, hidden stories, and forgotten dreams. There was a boy named Alex who asked for a snow globe to remind him of winters he once shared with his grandfather. Sarah wrote back, "Dear Alex, your wish for a snow globe is as special as the memories you hold dear. I hope you know that the love and warmth of your grandfather are still with you, like the snowflakes inside a globe, unique, timeless, and always near. May your Christmas be as magical as the winters you remember. Yours truly, Santa's Helper." One day, Sarah found a particularly touching letter from a little boy named Daniel, who wrote, "Dear Santa, I don't know if you can help, but this year, it feels like it's just the two of us, and we don't have anyone else around to celebrate Christmas with. My sister's been feeling really down about it, and I think she's worried it'll be another quiet holiday, like last year. Can you make it special somehow?" Sarah felt her heart swell at the innocence and hope in Daniel's words. She wrote back, "Dear Daniel, thank you for your wonderful letter. You have such a kind heart, and I know your sister is lucky to have someone like you. This year onwards, I have some good news. Someone will join you both for Christmas to make it extra special. Christmas magic often comes from the little things we do for each other, like decorating together, baking cookies, or sharing stories by the fire. I hope this Christmas brings you both joy and memories that will last a lifetime." She wrote back, planning to spend Christmas with these kids as well, bringing warmth, laughter, and festive cheer to their home. Yours truly, Santa's Helper. Another letter caught Sarah's attention, this one written in elegant handwriting. "Dear Santa, I'm not writing for myself, but for my neighbor, Mrs. Hill. She's 92 and hasn't had a visitor in years. Could you send her some Christmas cheer?" Sarah felt warmth spread through her as she read. She replied, "Dear friend, thank you for thinking of Mrs. Hill. It's people like you who keep the spirit of Christmas alive. I hope you'll continue to visit her and share stories of Christmases past. A kind heart like yours is the greatest gift of all. Wishing you both a season filled with love and joy. Yours truly, Santa's Helper." The letters began to work their magic. Tommy, now a grown man, received his reply and felt a rush of childhood wonder. He showed the letter to his own son, who had just written his first letter to Santa. Martha, who still lived in the same house, cried tears of gratitude when she read Sarah's words. Inspired, she decided to invite her neighbor over for Christmas dinner, something she hadn't done in years. Alex, meanwhile, found a small package on his doorstep a few days later, a snow globe from a mysterious sender. It sparkled in the light, and as he shook it, he felt a warmth he hadn't known in years. Daniel's sister, Anna, lit up when she saw her brother's excitement at receiving Santa's letter. They spent the evening baking cookies and making paper snowflakes, their laughter filling the house with holiday cheer. And Mrs. Hill, for the first time in decades, opened her door to a visitor who brought her warm cookies and a heartfelt chat. As the weeks passed, Sarah noticed something curious. People began to visit the post office more frequently. Some brought cookies and cards to share their thanks. Others stayed to chat, sharing stories about Christmases past and present. The post office, once a quiet corner of the town, had become a hub of warmth and connection. The jingling bell above the door seemed to herald not just mail, but newfound friendships and joy. One snowy evening, as Sarah was closing up for the day, a man walked in carrying a large package. He was in his 60s, with a kind smile and twinkling eyes. "Are you the one answering the old North Pole letters?" he asked. Sarah hesitated, then nodded. "I just wanted to bring a bit of Christmas magic to those who wrote them." The man chuckled. "Well, you've certainly done that. My name's Henry. I wrote one of those letters when I was just a boy. Never thought I'd get a reply, but it's made this Christmas one to remember." He placed the package on the counter. "For you," he said. "Merry Christmas." Sarah opened it after he left, finding a beautifully carved wooden train set inside. Tears filled her eyes as she realized the kindness she had been giving was now coming back to her. On Christmas Eve, the little post office glowed with soft candlelight. Sarah stayed late, finishing the last of the letters. She picked up one final letter, a recent one left anonymously on her desk. It read, "Dear Santa's helper, thank you for bringing magic back to Hollybrook. This town feels brighter because of you. Wishing you the happiest Christmas of all." With trembling hands and a full heart, Sarah typed a reply, leaving it on the desk as she locked up for the night. As she stepped out, the snow fell gently, covering Hollybrook in a blanket of white. She looked up at the stars, feeling as if the entire town was wrapped in a quiet, magical embrace. And in the days that followed, the warmth spread. Neighbors reconnected, strangers became friends, and the spirit of Christmas filled every corner of Hollybrook. All because of a dusty box of forgotten letters, and one young woman's determination to make the season bright. Thank you for joining us on Story Planet. If you felt like you were right there in the snowy town of Hollybrook, hearing the gentle jingle of the post office bell, consider giving a thumbs up. If this story brought you warmth and a sense of calm, feel free to share it with loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe for daily journeys into soothing tales brought to you by Story Planet. Wishing you a peaceful night and the sweetest of dreams.